Hi everyone. I thought I'd jump on and run through a little bit of a smoky eye look combined with a little bit of eyeliner. I use a gel liner predominantly. I also use black eyeshadow to line top and below, lower lash line as well. But I have got a liner pencil here that I can go through with you as well. So I thought I'd just run through a bit of a smoky eye, a little bit of an evening look, mixed with a little bit of an eyeliner tutorial as well. So I've got my hair pretty much sorted. I've done all of my base makeup. I just need to apply some eye primer, and the primer that I'm using tonight is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, which is a lovely product. It's a lovely sort of nude colour. It's quite soft and quite smooth, and I tend to just apply that all over my eyelid. And I just thought a smoky eye, it's kind of a classic look really. I tend to just give that a little bit of a buff in. Okay, so that's my eyes primed. So there's primer for all over your skin, which I showed you in the base tutorial, but the eyeshadow primers are really good as well, just for ensuring long-lasting coverage. And the primers also stop you getting that crease in your eye here, or any transference from eyeliner that you might put along here, going up here. Obviously you have to let it dry within reason, but it's just a good little tip to have. And Urban Decay is a lovely brand, it's really nice. So I'm going to go in with my first colour, and I tend to use about several colours. I tend to be about 2 or 3, sometimes 4. I'm going to go in with my highlight first. I've already groomed my brows, they're already done. And I tend to just pop a little bit of my MAC highlighter already on the top to start with. As you can see there, gives a nice... And you don't need a lot of this, a lot goes a long way. You can do this last if you want to, but I prefer to do it first, and then it's a step that's done. And I've just put a plain black top on just to show you it can be a bit of a going out look. And I've put some snazzy little earrings in as well. I'll do something with my hair at the end, no doubt. So then I go in with my MAC 217 that I used on the base, the daytime makeup application. And I'm going to use my Urban Decay 2 palette, and I'm going to use this light shade all over my lid, which is Suspect. And I'm going to use the darker, it's almost like a plummy colour, that's called Busted. And I'm going to use a little bit of black as well, which is just blackout. So like I did in the day makeup, and that primer is lovely, it's really nice. Doesn't affect how you put your eyeshadow on at all. I don't find it drags or pulls. So I tend to put nice brownie shade all over the lid. I take it up slightly into my eye socket. And again, if anyone wants the products listed that I've used, I can jot it down in the comments section. Just let me know, just drop us a line, then I know. Then I tend to, again, I go in with my little dual-ended brush that I showed you the other night when I did the makeup brush tutorial. If you all saw that, this is my oldest makeup brush, it's brilliant. Great for contouring as well, any colours that you might have. And again, what I tend to do, I start off on the outer corner, because I am going to wing my shadow out today for this tutorial. But I'm going to start off by... I'm just going to build the colour as I go. I'm not going to plonk it all in one go. I'm just going to get a little bit closer just to show you. I'm just going to pull that colour along my lash line and just keep building with it. Being careful not to flick the colour that way, because then what you end up with is a lovely dark patch just along your nose. So you want to try and avoid that. So I'm just almost creating another colour really on top. And I am going to blend this. I'm going to show you what I do shortly. So it's gradual. It's a gradual effect. And just start off in that corner. So this again is the deeper plum colour. I haven't gone in with the black just yet. And don't worry about any fallout. Fallout just means product falling onto your cheek here, your cheekbone, or like I say, the corner of your nose. That can be erased with a little bit of foundation or concealer. And I'm just going to blend that along right into the corner so it doesn't just suddenly stop. And just step back and have a look, and you'll know where you need a bit more colour. So don't worry. Okay, then I'm just going to start tying these colours together. Before I go in with my black. And it's the black that really creates the intensity, the intense look. And this is, as you'll notice, compared to the day makeup that I did on Saturday, this is a lot darker, a lot deeper. And just keep blending, swirl and blend wherever you need to. And that's sort of the basis of my dark colour already done. Now I'm going to go in with the MAC 266 that I mentioned in the brush tutorial a couple of nights ago. And I'm going to go in with my black. So this is the angled brush, as you can see there. Okay, it's very, very thin. And it's just cut on a bias, just cut on an angle. I'm going to take a little bit of the excess off because this colour does have a lot of fallout. And I might as well show you the little pad that I talked about that I couldn't quite explain properly. So I'm going to hold that there, and I'm just going to go in with my black. As you can see, I'm just creating a little line. And what I'm also going to do is just almost create a little flick, just a small flick with that shadow, because that will help to add to the intensity. Now when I come to the sort of middle, I can get rid of my little sponge. I don't need that as much. And I'm just going to keep blending around and just drawing that line along my lash line, like so. Take it right into the corner. Now again, I am going to line on top of this, but this is just to soften that look. And I always keep my powder brush handy just for any little bits of fallout. So already that's, you can see the difference, that's really drawn that colour in, which is lovely. And again, I'm going to repeat on the next side. I haven't quite mastered how to pose, so you're going to have to bear with us while I do both eyes at the same time. I'm sure there's a pause button you can hit when you're recording on YouTube. So I'm almost creating an eyeliner with my shadow, which you can do. You can wet the brush if you want to dampen your brush down and go in with your powder eyeshadow. It's just the black I'm using. Oh, where is it? There we go. You can do that as well if you want to. And again, just create almost a little flick and just keep drawing that colour around. I don't really mind how much I'm putting on at this point because it's going to be intense. The flicks are going to be smudged as well because my liner flicks will be a lot more precise. So for the lower lash line, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take any excess that I've got on my brush still, go in with my little pad again just to stop any fallout. And I'm just going to tie these two together. So I'm pulling from the top corner, I'm not leaving an obvious gap. And I'm just keeping that brush as close to the lash line as I can. But again, this is all going to be blended and smudged. Oh, there's a little bit there. Just blend that away. Like I say, at this point, it's going to be blended and smudged along. It's always time to perfect at the end. What I don't like doing, and I've never managed to get my head around it, I know probably a perfectly valid reason, but doing all your eyeshadow first and then putting your foundation on top. I know a lot of people do that. I've never done it that way. I was never trained that way. And I just find it sort of baffles me a little bit. So again, go back in with my little sponge and I'm just going to blend and almost pull up that black colour. I don't want to get rid of my nice brownie colour that I put on first, but I just want to soften that a little bit. Just blend around like so. And underneath, I'm just going to use the fatter side of my brush. And I'm just going to blend this around. Sometimes I go in with my finger as well, not all the time. At the end, I am going to line my wet line as well, which is just the little inside bit there. Then just take a step and just look. And I will go in with a little bit of concealer at the end just for any little bits of fallout that might have occurred. So next step is eyeliner. Okay, so I've shown you how to line with dark powder and you just need to get yourself a decent angled brush like so. The next brush I've got is my WAC 210, which is my little fine brush there. Very thin, very fine. Great for gel liners, things like that. And again, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in with a little bit more dark because I do sometimes do this. I'm actually going to just pull in a little bit of black in the corner there. Just blend that around, soften any edges that you've got. Okay. Right then. So liner. So I've got my little pot of gel liner and my little brush, and I'm just going to dip and load up my little fine brush. Just take off a little bit of the excess. Now what I tend to do, again, I start on the outer corner, and I'm going to look in my mirror for this, because I'm just so used to doing it in my mirror. I am getting used to doing it via my phone, but I prefer my mirror. Just going to line along top of my lash line. And be quite, not firm, but a good grip. You don't want to end up with any little feather strokes. If you think you're going to, just take your little powder puff and just gently pull along there. Okay, so that's the bulk of my liner done. And I take it right the way to the corner, and then I would do my flick. So I'm going to pop a little bit more liner on. And this can be smudged as well if you want the gel liner to be a little bit softer. So what I tend to do is just pull my skin taut and I draw what will be the bottom of my flick, but I can't leave it like that because it's too thin. It doesn't match the top. So then it's like putting on the top of a triangle, but upside down, like an upside down triangle. I'm going to start at the bottom and just blend a bit more black in. Take a little bit more product. And just make sure just to finish off, go just to the bottom and just feather it slightly. Okay, so that's that side done. The trick is getting both sides the same, which can be tricky. Okay. So again, the bulk of my liner, take it as close to the lash line as you can and just work it in. And if you need to, this side I always have to pull. Okay, then a little bit more, a little bit higher up on this side. It's just about stepping back and having a look really. Because one side you might have gone slightly thicker than the other. And I just keep my little foundation brush handy for any little bits there. And then my flick. Just gonna get that other brush. Yeah, try that one. And then just pull. So I'm going to look to see where that point ends. And I'm just going to... That's the trouble when you look in your mirror and then you're looking back at your phone. It gets quite distorted, but we've got it. Okay, the flick's done. You can see there what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to thicken up this line ever so slightly. I think it needs it. It's in competition with the other side. And I'm just going to neaten up this little section here. And like I say, you can make these as thin or as thick as you want. But there's an obvious cat's eye effect there. And again, you can smudge it if you want to. I've actually got, and I don't think I showed you the other night when I did the makeup brush tutorial, just a little smudging brush like that. So it's a little sponge in effect. And you can, if you wanted to just soften any lines, you can do it if you want. You don't have to, you can leave it sharp. I think with me, it depends on what mood I'm in really. And that's just a Maybelline gel liner, but it's really good. It's really easy to work with. Then I would tend to go in with just a little bit of eyeliner, Lord and Berry. And what I like to do is if you just look up, just take that along your wet line on the top lashes, right in the corner. I know some people don't like that. And normally if you give a little blink like that, it transfers onto the lower ones as well. Just check that corner. What I'm going to do, I am going to line my wet line as well, down on the bottom. And take that right into the corner. I haven't got any false lashes to apply afterwards. Mainly because I just thought I'd leave that for bridal or special occasion. But I will be putting mascara on because no smoky eye is complete without one. And then if I think I need to just go in with a little bit more highlighter, I can do that, it's fine. So I've got my highlighting brush. Somewhere, I keep putting things down. I've got that many Bobbi Brown brushes, they all start to look the same though. So again, just give a little buff. And I'll always go back over with my foundation brush as well, just to make sure. You just don't want any transference really, and a little bit extra powder. I don't bake, or whatever the kids call it these days. Well, I do bake, but cakes. That's different, but and then just a little bit of powder just to set that in place. And then mascara. And I would load it with mascara, and then I would apply my strip lashes if I had lashes lastly. And this mascara, this one is a Chanel, Le Volume de Chanel, and this is just black, plain black. Really great for volume though. But lashes do make a massive, they do have a massive impact on this look. And I curled my lashes before I did this as well, just so they were already curly, because if you put your liner on, then you curl, you tend to smudge your liner. So I would always say curl your lashes first, then just go in and do all your eyeshadows and your liners and your mascaras, personally. And I'll do another coat in a second. I'll do my lower lashes. And it's quite a sort of, it's smoky look, but it's quite a grungy look as well. The lip pencil, it's a Lord and Berry eye pencil, I can tell you about that one. That's quite a wet look. I always find it very glossy and susceptible to smudging, so I would never use that one on my top lids because I just think it would go everywhere. But it's really good for lining your wet line because it doesn't really matter if that smudges a little bit. I mean, throughout the evening, if you're out and about, check the corners. You don't want to end up with black liner stuck in the corners of your eyes. It's not a very good look. And again, I'm trying not to pull makeup face. just love this mascara. Get it right in at the root, because you've already got black liner there anyway. And black shadow, and you can see, gosh, the volume. This mascara is just epic. It's lovely, but it is, for me, it's a treat. It's a treat mascara. I use my NYX one for every day, but if I'm gonna be going out, and if I've done a flick, I always tend to just tip the ends of my lashes. Can't really see from the front much there because I've got a lot of eyeliner on, but you can see how long that makes them. And then I'll go in with, so I've got my cheeks already done. I haven't got highlight on, but I'm going to go in with, I'll talk about this first. This is MAC lip pencil and it's Boldly Bare. So it's a lovely nude, neutral colour, if you can see that there. It's lovely. And the lipstick I'm going to go with is MAC, and this is a Cream Sheen Cream Cup, which is lovely. Because I've gone quite heavy on my eyes, I only ever occasionally do eyes and lips. It just depends on where I'm going and what I'm doing. But if I've gone for a dark highlight tonight and it's very black, I will always do a neutral lip colour. Because the rule of thumb was you could do eyes or lips, never do both. But I think it depends on where you're going and what you're doing. So again, I'm just gonna and I love this shade because I think it just makes your teeth look lovely and white. So that's the lip liner on. Actually, one eyeliner that I don't ever tend to use much or at all really is liquid liner. I'm a little bit allergic to it. I don't know what they put in it. It must be the compound or something that makes it so liquid and so runny. I just can't get away with it. It's just too, it just irritates my eyes, brings them out all red. So I find what works for you. Find what works for you best and just run with it. I think I was 21 before I discovered gel eyeliners, and it was a Bobbi Brown. It was a coffee shimmer, I think it was called, and I got it for my 21st birthday party, and it just lasted. I think I went to get my makeup done to come away with the products to buy. I didn't get my makeup done for my party, I did it myself, and it was just a list of products that they had on the day, and it was just lovely. It was just a lovely product. So yes, hopefully that's helped a little bit with flicks. So draw your baseline, your bottom line, get your point where you want it to be, and then just cut across and almost meet the block of liner. When you come to the next eye, find your point, and if I look, I've got them pretty much bang on, which is good. Do exactly the same again, get your points the same, find your bottom line, pull it across, and then you can't really go wrong. That's the bit that takes a little bit of practice, but the more you practice, it makes perfect. So again, I've got my lipstick, I've got my hair. What I could do with that is just a little bit of, I'll use my pintail comb, I think, for that. It's got quite a bit of volume at the sides, but not so much at the top. And I think apart from the red lips, this is sort of the heaviest look that I've done so far. But hopefully you've all enjoyed it. I'll pop a little bit of if you can't taste the hairspray, you're not wearing enough. And then that's just a smoky eye with eyeliner and some flicks. So hopefully you've taken a little bit away from that. You can have a little practice. Great for a going out look. Great for a special occasion as well if you're a guest at a wedding. I suppose even in a way if you know, a little bit, well, not so much more the flicks, but the colour is quite a bridal look as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you'd like to see any other looks, I've got a little list piling up now. Anything that you'd like to see, just give me a shout, just pop a comment and let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoy it. Thanks again. Bye.